And if anybody wants a copy of the recording or for your own use or to share, just send me a message and I'll send you the link to it. It's going to be recorded in the cloud. So I'll just send you the link and you should be able to download it easily.
Let's see.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Rosemary. My name's Rich. I wanted to thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Hi, Rich. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I didn't want to be one of those absent black spots, so I wanted to at least say hello, but I do have to turn my video off because I'll be moving around.
Okay,
But
thank you.
I'm very, very grateful to be here. Thank you. And thanks, Larry.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting us know your intentions, Rich.
Yes, and this is Valerie. I'll be a black box too. Oh, there, I'll get it. Valerie, I'm just so grateful to be here with so many poets that I recognize from Larry's list that have blessed me and blessed others that I've shared your poetry with. And I'm just so grateful to be here and to see you, Rosemary. I've loved your poetry, so this is a treat for me. So I just wanted to say thank you to you all. Thank you, mostly Larry. And I will be a black box with a name, but listening with my heart. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Valerie. Well, I think we might as well start. I'm going to mute everyone except Rosemary, and then towards the end, if Rosemary wants to invite comments or questions, then we'll unmute everyone for that. So I'm going to mute everyone now except for Rosemary. Okay. Oops. There, I think we did it. So it really is a great pleasure to welcome Rosemary to this vehicle. Kim Rosen, who I have seen somewhere on here, introduced me to Rosemary's poetry maybe a year ago, and I'm just blown away. I'm not going to waste anybody's time introducing her. You either know her poetry or you've seen the introduction, and I want to give her all the time we have just to hear her voice and the music of her soul and her poetry. So, Rosemary, I am turning it over to you and muting myself.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, everyone who showed up. I'm looking at all the faces. So many people who I care so deeply about. Thank you for being here. And for being it's a joy to me to see you as I read, so I appreciate it. So I thought it'd be fun to have a theme for the reading. Just today's theme is falling in love with the world, and thoughts about how that happens and what that looks like. And I thought I'd start with this little line of a poem from Rumi that often when I have a line that seems to stick to me and be a companion for me, then I'll find a little tune for it. So this is from Silkworms by Rumi, a version by Coleman Barks. The hurt you embrace becomes joy, joy. Call it to your arms where it can change. The hurt you embrace becomes joy, joy. Call it to your arms where it can change. The hurt you embrace becomes joy. Call it to your arms where it can change. That's maybe a strange line to start with for falling in love with the world, but I think it feels essential to me that falling in love with the world doesn't mean just falling in love with the beautiful parts, the easy parts, the parts that, it's not hard to love the eagle, but could I also love the tick? I haven't gotten there yet, by the way, but I'm working on it. Becoming. to wake and not want to change anything, to let the heart feel what it feels, to be disarmed, defenseless, and so alive. There are days love claims us so utterly, we unfold into the moment whatever it holds, certain we were made for it. Nothing has prepared us for this. Everything has prepared us for this. There's a sweetness that happens when we fall in love with just everyday things. And this happens to me pretty often. I think, I don't know if it's because of poetry, but I think it is because of poetry that there is this ability to celebrate the thisness, as Gerard Manley Hopkins would have said, of the world and the inscape. So this is a poem about falling in love with cauliflower called Cruciferous. Tonight, I have fallen in love with cauliflower, the way it gives itself so completely to the soup, the way it informs the curry with nutty sweetness, with bitterness. I love the way it turns to cream, how it loses all sense of its former shape, and yet is still so completely itself, so wholly present. I know it is foolish, perhaps, to toss around a word so important as love and spend on a vegetable. No, I tell myself, it is worse not to fall in love with cauliflower. Worse to pretend it isn't a gift, an invitation to praise, such simple worship, a bowl, a spoon, a willing tongue. I'm going to try and keep an eye also on the chat bar, just in case you wanted to say something in between. And we definitely will have, I'll plan to read for, as Larry said, about 20 minutes, and then we'll have 10 minutes for a conversation. But if you have things you want to put in the chat bar in between, I'll just keep looking at it. I know that some of you, like I, are deeply in love with the work of Pablo Neruda, and for many reasons. It's his love poems I love the most. That was how I fell in love with him first. And sometimes I think when we see someone else expressing love so utterly, it becomes an invitation for us to find ways to, well, I guess just to know that it's possible and then to explore that. The letter I never wrote to Pablo Neruda. Dear Pablo, because you dared to love Matilda without knowing how or when or from where, I too became the unblooming reed that carries inside it the radiance of summer days, the luminosity of moon, the glittering secrets of stars. I too believed I could be worthy of devotion despite my darkness, because my darkness. Because my shadows, because my shame. I embraced love as wood instead of crystal, something growing, something vital, something solid and difficult to break. Because you spilled love into ink, I learned your love by heart. Your words caressed me and drenched me like late summer rain. They carried me through gloomy rooms and moonless years. Because you dared to deeply love one woman, you touched the soul of this other woman. And I too know, because of you, the perfume of dark carnation, the ripe apple of happiness, the bliss of being spread out on a blanket of ancient night, a kiss that transcends borders and centuries, the gift of love so obscure it resists translation, the gift of a love so personal it invites the rest of the world. Oh, thanks to Pablo Neruda, huh? What a gift he gave us with with his ability to express what it is to love that deeply. Here's, let's change gears. Someone else who deeply inspires me as a human, just the way she moves through the world, is Dolly Parton. And I have so little in common with her, I think. And that's part of why I love her, is that she's just so very different than I could ever imagine being. But this is about falling in love, I suppose, with other people who are so unabashedly themselves. It almost gives us more permission to be that crazily ourselves. This is Making Breakfast with Dolly. Tonight, I read how Dolly Parton always wears her high heel shoes in the kitchen. Don't you? She asks. I don't. I wear old brown wool slippers with orthotics. I try to imagine myself strutting into the kitchen before the kids go to school, making smoothies and scrambling eggs in my yoga pants and my long gray sweatshirt and my 4-inch lucite stilettos. Click, click, click go the heels as I teeter toward the teacups. Click, click, click as I parade with paper towels to the place where the cat has retched. Oh, Dolly, as I slip into these high-heeled thoughts, I thank you for dressing up for the day. These glammed up ideas, two-step and sashay through the morning chores, while meanwhile, my slippered self marvels at the fun, but shrugs, because she's just so darn grateful for her arch support, for the rubber soles that ground her as she sweeps up the crumbs, as she wipes the counters clean. Grateful that when these high-heeled thoughts start to sing, and damn, can they sing, working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, they just invite her to sing along. Let's see. Oh, well, Larry has a note here for everyone. If you want to see me on full screen, you can change your setting from gallery view to speaker view. So this is I guess I chose a lot of poems this morning that are honoring other people who are kind of amazing in the way that they are. Pablo, Neruda, and Dolly, and now someone who I don't know that much about, Michael Jordan. But what I do know about him is that he has given us kind of a roadmap for how to persist. And so I guess this is a poem about embracing failure. No slam dunk, but every day a second chance. As if all of life before has been one big shot, and today I get to try again. Get to forgive. I get to be kind. I get to let go, be open, be gentle with myself. I get to learn, unlearn, play again. I think of Michael Jordan, and though I know nothing of basketball, I know he missed more than 9,000 shots, and he lost nearly 300 games, and he missed the winning shot 26 times. I know Michael Jordan was named by the NBA as the greatest player of all time. Every morning, though I can't dribble or shoot any more than I can flap my arms and fly, I step onto the court of a new day and I let myself take the next shot. Again, every day, a new foul. Every day, I want to argue with the ref. Every day, I realize it does no good to argue. At the end of the day, I see how I am the basket, the ball, the bounce, the pass, the MVP, the sub. I am the booing, the cheers. I am the one who keeps score, and I am the one who marvels when, oh, sweet miracle. The score is reset to 0, and I am given another chance. How is it to make the winning shot? There's a funny story about this poem, by the way. When I sent it out, I think most of you know I send a poem out every day. And if you don't receive them, you can. I send them out free. It's a crazy act, but every day I put my first drafts out into the world, and you can read them if you choose online at 100fallingveils.com, or if you can sign up and I'll send them to your email box. But so it's funny to me that it's a poem about, failing and persisting. And in this particular poem, when I sent it out for the first time, instead of saying that he was named by the NBA as the greatest player of all time, I wrote that he was named by the MBA. And I got, of course, quite a few people correcting me and letting me know exactly how I failed that day. I missed that shot, but I've gotten some other ones in. Well, I'm going to go back a little bit to this idea, I suppose, of the song that I started with, that line, "The hurt you embrace becomes joy. Call it to your arms where it can change." And I think most of you know that I lost my son about 1.5 years ago now, and then my father shortly after that. It's been quite a year. And in that time, I have been so upheld by love. I have known, I feel like I know how it is now to be completely remade by it, to trust it so completely. And that's, I suppose, what this poem is about. Though I knew love before, not until my world dissolved in an instant did I begin to understand the communion of hearts. Not until I could not put 1 minute in front of the next did I begin to understand infinite devotion. Not until I lost my own flesh did I begin to understand the muscle of spirit. I will never love the loss. Never. But I love the life that rushes in after. I love the intimacy of those who have lost, how we find each other and offer our open embrace, our unwalled affection, our wildest wishes for peace. Not until I was consumed by the great wave of love did I know not to fear the great wave of love. Only then did I learn the beauty of ceding the self to something much greater. Only then did I learn how love not only carries us, it transforms who we are forever. And just looking at some of you on the screen, some of you, and you know that I'm speaking directly to you. I thank you so much for the love that you have given me in the last 1.5 years. Thank you. There's an astonishing unwalling then that comes with falling in love with the world as it is. It comes down to this: not that I want to be someone else, just that I want to be less myself, which is to say, less the woman who thinks she knows anything about anything, gardening or writing or skiing or parenting or loving. I want to be less who I am and more what a tree is, what a star is, protons fused with other protons, and the strong force that holds particles together in the center of atoms, and the weak force that breaks the atoms down, and the electromagnetic force that binds all molecules. Yes, this is how I want to meet you, without a name, unencumbered by a me. I want to know myself as a collection of atoms and forces that rhyme with you, linked as we are from the very beginning. How easy it is then to say hello. to fall in love with the world and with each other. When the day that my son died, I was lucky enough to speak that afternoon with my beautiful friend, Wendy Vidalak, who is also a poet. If you're not familiar with her work, I think she's a genius. And she said to me that day, she said, he has given you his love light to carry. Oh, what incredible wisdom. He has given you his love light to carry. I wish we all knew that when our beloveds die, that that's what's possible for us to take that legacy of love and bring it forward into the world. It is the work of the living to grieve the dead. It is our work to wake each day, to live into the world that is. It is our work to weep, and it is our work to be healed. Some part of us knows not only the absence of our beloveds, but also their presence, how they continue to teach us as they invite us to grow. It is our work to be softened by loss, to be undone, destroyed, remade. Wounded, we recoil, and it is our work to notice how, like crushed and trampled grass, we spring back. It is our work to meet death again and again and again, and though it aches to be opened, it is our work to be opened. It is our work to live into the opening until we know ourselves as blossoms, nourished from within by the radiance of the ones who are no longer physically here. They have given us their love light to carry. It is our work to be in service to that light. I'm going to just put myself on mute and sniffle really loudly for a second. All right, I'm back. And this is the last poem that I'll share, and then we'll open it up. Thanks for being brave enough to come to a poetry reading with me. If you've ever been to a poetry reading with me before, then you knew that there was about a 98% chance that I would burst into tears at some point, and there it was. So this last poem is, I suppose, a celebration of what happens when each one of us takes our little self that says, I can give this much love to the world, and meets everyone else who says, I'm willing to love the world. This is Bioluminescence. Sometimes when I fear the small light I bring isn't big enough or bright enough, I think of that night on the beach years ago when every step I took in the cool, wet sand turned a glowing iridescent blue. And the waves themselves were a flashing greenish hue. Imagine we could do what 7.9 billion one-celled plankton can do. Can shine when it's dark, can shine when agitated, can shine with our own inner light, and trust that when we all bring the tiny light we have, it is enough to illumine the next step in the long stretch of night.
Oh. Rosemary, this feels like darshan. You've been giving us such a precious gift. And I don't know how many dry eyes there are out here, but nothing in my house.
Thank
So-
you for weeping with me.
So I think people can unmute themselves if you want to, but it'd be good to raise your hand so Rosemary can call on you if you want to ask a question or raise your hand.
And since I can't see all the screens, so it would help probably if you know how to do in the reactions tab down at the bottom of the screen, you can do a little hand raise and then I'll see that your hand is up.
I see Raphael has a question.
Oh, good. Hi, Raphael.
Hello, Rosemary. I don't really have a question.
Oh.
I just wanted to say that I fell in love with you the moment we met, and that it's so wonderful to see you now in the thing. Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. Thank you. If people don't know, Raphael has the most fabulous monthly poem that he sends out on the full moon. And maybe Raphael, if you put in the chat bar, then people would know how to find you if they don't already get your poems.
Thank you.
Oh, let's see. There's someone, Corleen. I'm not sure I'm saying your name right though, so please correct me if I didn't. Oops, I can't hear you yet though, friend.
Corleen, you're muted.
I'm new to you. And I just want to say that your authenticity affirms authenticity.
Oh,
And your heart is in my heart, and my heart is in your heart. Thank you.
thank you, Corleen. Thank you. Kay, hi, beautiful friend.
Hi. Oh my goodness. My heart is so full, and it's such a gift to touch the thread of all sorrows in the way that you do with such beauty. I really want to thank you for that. And I wonder if it would be, is it rude to ask that you would send copies of those poems to Larry that he could send out?
Oh, of course. Of
Would it
course.
be
I
rude to
will.
Larry to have the burden of sending him out? But I was just like,
Burden
oh,
of
I gotta ask her
receiving
for that.
riches.
What did you say, Larry?
Oh, the burden of receiving riches.
Yes, right. But I just kept writing them down and writing them down. I'm going to ask her for this one. And it's just like, oh God, what a feast. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. It was fun today too. I tried to read poems that I've never read before, most of them that I read today. So that was fun to see what happened when they met the air with a group of people. So I appreciate you all being you didn't know you were going to be guinea pigs, but. Anyone else let's see. Oh, there's some sweet messages coming in. I don't know that any of them are questions though. But thank you for your loving messages or
Just wanted
comments.
to say I love the reading and crying.
Thank you, Asha. Thank you. Thanks for being willing to show up with me. And also I see Raphael did now put his email address in. So if you wanted to send him a note, you can get his monthly poems that he sends out in both Spanish and English.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Go ahead and unmute yourself just because I can't see you. So if it was too difficult to figure out the reactions bar.
My guess is there's probably, you have stunned us into silence with your love and beauty, and I'm rarely speechless, but this has been just absolutely wonderful, Rosemary. I'm so grateful.
Thanks,
And-
Larry. I see someone does have their
Oh.
hand up. It says Sheila.
There you go.
Hi, it's Sheila and Bill.
Hey, Sheila.
Hi.
I'm just so touched by your authenticity, and you are such an example of vulnerability as strength. And we were both crying, and just loved your words. And I had an intuitive feeling that I just really felt you were a kindred spirit, and I was right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, and I see that there's a question in the chat bar says, could you recommend a daily writing practice? And for those of you who don't know, that is what I completely recommend a daily writing practice. No matter if that's, like, you don't have to do it the way I do. Certainly you don't have to put it out in the world every day, but I do know that when I began writing a poem every day, which was, about 16 years ago now, it changed everything, not only about my writing, but more to the point, it changed everything about how I meet the world, everything. It just, in the beginning, I remember just that kind of that openness, like, where's the poem? Where's the poem? Just looking for the poem all the time. And then, but over time, I think that the biggest change has been what I noticed from a daily practice is the way that it has developed a deep trust in the world and even in myself and even in poetry, but poetry feels really more like it's I'm guessing that anything that you devoted to yourself every day that involved being curious about the world, meditation or a journaling practice, or, I feel like any of these kinds of daily commitments, habits would have a similar effect, right? The way that it helps us develop trust and openness. Can I do it to close? Should I do just a poem maybe by Pablo Neruda, rather by Rilke? This is the poem that saved my life. It's the poem that I tattooed on my heart. Well, I think it tattooed itself into my heart. And I'll sing it. This tune I did not make up. This one comes from Robert Lepley. I've changed it a little bit, but you darkness that I come from, I love you more than all the fires that fancy in the world. For the darkness makes a circle of light for everyone, and then no one outside learns of you. But the darkness, it pulls in everything, shapes and fires, animals and myself. How easily it gathers them, powers and people. And it is possible a great energy is moving near me. I have faith in nights. Thank you, friends. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, Larry. Thanks so much for hosting today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosemary, and thank you all for your kind attention. And I invite you to join us again January 21st when our guest will be Gwen O'Gara, who is former Sonoma County Poet Laureate, and she has a new collection out, and this will also be wonderful. So May we all be well through this dark time and hold each other in our hearts and carry each other's spirit light. All right, be well.
Mhm.
Where do you live, Rosemary?
I'm in Colorado. I'm here, I'll show you out the window. I live in the southwest part of the state, down in the San Miguel River. You can
Wow.
see, if you get my poems, you've heard a lot about this pond,
Yeah,
river, and that field.
It's really great to put a being to like the posts I see on social media.
Rosemary, can you tell us again the link to your daily poems?
So if you wanted to find them on the blog is 100 Falling Veils, and that's spelled out, 100fallingveils.com.
Okay.
And right there on that website, there's a place that you can sign up for the daily emails. It's a lot of email. It's every day, so it's a lot of email. But so I like that there's a way you can either just find it online when you want to, or you can
I see.
Sent to you every day.
It would be a great addition to my day. Larry's always there every morning for
I
us.
know. I have so many. I love getting poems in my inbox every day. So I get lots and lots.
It's the way I begin my day. It sets my day. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love for me the Michael Jackson with the cauliflower. Like I became Michael Jackson and the analogy of that, but I also became the cauliflower and the analogy of that. So they were all in me as you spoke.
Thank
Very
you.
wonderful to see and feel into those two poems and how they relate and they don't relate. It's really beautiful. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet
I
you.
used to live in Fort Collins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All across the state.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rosemary, what is the title of the Rilke poem?
You Darkness. And that translation is Robert Bly. There's quite a few translators of Rilke, and I've seen, maybe because I learned that one first, it's my favorite, but I encourage you to read all of the different translators, or if you know the German, I think that's always the best case scenario, but it's my favorite. And that tune that I did is from Robert Lepley did a whole album of Rilke's work with the New York Voices and Meryl Streep reciting the poems. So I think it's 9